average value of a function on an interval. Average value of a function on an interval. Of course, the interval is a closed interval. And I'm on page 426. And I'd like to look at 39 on 426. So we are given a function, x squared plus x minus 2. We're asked to find its average value. Okay, here's the formula for the average value. Formula. Function average on 0, 4 in this case. I'm going to write AB in general. Is 1 divided by b minus a, the integral from a to b from f of x dx. So the average value of a function on a closed interval has in front 1 over b minus a, 4 minus 0 in here, the integral from 0 to 4 from f of x dx. We have the function, we have the interval. So for this particular situation, f average on 0, 4 is 1 divided by 4 minus 0, the integral from 0 to 4 from x squared plus x minus 2 dx. So in front 1/4, the antiderivative, we know that this is x to the third over 3 plus x squared over 2 minus 2x from 0 to 4. Because this is a polynomial function, when I plug in 0, everything will be 0, so I only need to plug in 4. So 1/4, 4 to the third, 64 over 3. 4 squared, 16 divided by 2, 8. 4 minus 2, 4 times negative 2, negative 8. Nice. And this is, and I'll simplify, 1/4 times 64 over 3, and I'll simplify, and I get 16. So this is 16 over 3. The average value of this function on the given interval 0, 4 is 16 over 3. Any questions on this? Okay, so let's look at one more. Because I'm looking at 43, just to have another function here. So for 43, we are given y equals 3 over x squared, and the interval is 1, 5. So the same thing. We're asked to find f average on 1, 5 is 1 over 5 minus 1. The integral from 1 to 5 from 3 over x squared dx. So 5 minus 1 is 4, so we have 1/4 in front, and I'm also going to move 3 in front. So 3/4. The integral from 1 to 5 from 1 over x squared dx. And now I'm going to ask which function prime equals 1 over x squared.
Isn't it negative 1 over x?
Thank you very much. It's the same person who always answers to this, so I'm hoping that he's not the only one understanding this. Thank you very much. So please, so this is negative 3/4. Leave it alone outside with a negative. When I plug in 5, I get 1/5, minus when I plug in 1, I get 1. So all these are outside, right here. So I'm only plugging in 1 over x. I plug in 5, I get 1/5, minus when I plug in 1. So this is negative 3/4, and this will be a 5. 1 minus 5 is negative 4, so times negative 4 over 5. I simplify the negative 4s, right, and I get 3/5. Again, let me show you again with the graphing calculator for everyone, because I showed it in the study group, and let me show you again here. If you have this, you don't have to. I don't like to punch in, but let me show you. So in front of it, insert that 1 over 4 to make sure that you have everything in there. So it's 1/4 right in front of it. It will multiply the integral from 1 to 5. I just don't want my students to get stuck on the arithmetic here, because that's not the purpose. Okay. Okay, dx, don't forget dx. And when I click enter, I have to get 3 divided by 5 or 0.6. If I don't, I go back and I see where I went wrong. Or maybe I entered this incorrectly. So be careful. This is not very easy to enter. You have to be careful. Okay. Now let's look at some applications. I like to look at applications of all this. Okay. So I like to look at this results of practice 53 on page 426. Okay, a keyboarder's speed over a 5-minute interval. So 0,5, and that's the time. They're giving us the speed. Speed is -6t squared plus 12t plus 90. Okay, the keyboarder's speed over a 5-minute interval is given by this function. So this we know is a derivative. It's the speed. So it's words per minute. And we'll see in a moment, so this is time in minutes. Very important to remember that. W is the speed in words per minute, of course, words per minute. So we know that this is a derivative. If it were the derivative, it would not have the measurement unit this over this, right? Okay, so find the speed at the beginning of the interval. So that's our first question. Speed at the beginning of interval, of time interval, of course. How do I determine that? Anyone would like to chime in? Anyone?
So at the beginning, wouldn't that just be at 0?
Yes. What do I do with 0?
So
as you said, W of 0, right?
yeah.
Good. So 0, 0, 90. Words per minute. That's it. Perfect. Okay, let's see what part B wants. Okay, this is my page 3. Okay, in part B. Find the maximum speed and when it occurs. In the past, what did we do to find maximum? or minimum speed or minimum of a function. What did we do? What was the first step?
Well, we find critical numbers.
Perfect. Critical numbers, in other words, the derivative, and critical numbers, and set them equal to 0, and then find the sign. Excellent. Awesome. So then w prime of t, this is the derivative of the derivative, but for us this is a function as well. So we have negative 12t plus 12. So I found the derivative. Now how do I find the critical numbers? Remember, critical numbers come from two sources, and I have to check both. But w prime of t is never undefined. It's a polynomial function. So only from w prime of t equals 0. When you set this equal to 0, how much is t?
Minus 1. 1, I'm sorry.
Very good. 1 minute. Awesome. So we claim that this is the maximum, but how do I know? I don't know. So I'm looking at the derivative. I plug in 0. What is the sign when I plug in 0? A number to the left of 1.
Well,
Positive. Perfect. So I plug in 2. When I plug in 2 here, what will the sign be? Just the sign. I don't care about the number.
Negative.
Perfect. So this is obviously what I'm looking for. But they want us to even find it. So this value will be w of 1. So w of 1 will be negative 6 plus 12 is 6. 6 plus 90, 96. Words per minute. This is maximum. I already have it here. In part C, find the average speed over the 5-minute interval. How do I find the average speed?
So isn't that the same way that we just started out with?
Exactly. Average between 1 comma 5, careful, right? 5 minus 1, 1 over 4, the integral from 1 to 5, from that. Negative 6t squared plus 12t plus 90 dt. So one more time, just to make sure, if the function has t in it, then the integral will have dt. If the function has x in it, then the integral will have dx. If the function has y, then it will have dy. If it has h, it will have dh. So always, because this is the differential. Of the function. Exactly. So we're asked to find the average speed. We have the function, luckily for us. They're giving us the function, so we'll find the integral to find the average speed. Any questions? Let's take a moment and let me stop for a moment and ask you if you have any questions so far. Is this okay?
I do.
But always stop me, Tyler, because I don't want to ever move on if you have questions. The interaction between me and my students is more important than anything.
So the initial integral was 0 to 5. Why did it change to 1 to 5 for the average speed?
That's my only answer. Just to cry.
And wouldn't that be 1/5 in the front now?
Of course, of course. Of course, I forgot that the interval, I was, in my mind was 1, that 1, got stuck in my mind. No excuse. It is 0 to 5. They're asking us to find the average speed over the 5-minute interval, very clear. So it's this. No excuse. So please make the correction. My apologies, my mistake. So it is 0 to 5, of course. From 0 to 5, and this is even easier to calculate. Thank you. My mistake. I got stuck on 1. My brain got stuck on 1. No excuse. Okay, so negative 6 t to the third over 3 plus 12 t squared over 2 plus 90 t. Of course, from 0 to 5. Perfect. So now I'll simplify. Luckily, I only have to plug in 5 because minus, these are all polynomials, or this is a polynomial, so when I plug in 0, I get 0. But if you have e to the x, you cannot assume e to 0 is 1, so be careful. This is happening because this is a polynomial. So 1/5. 5, so negative 2 times 5 to the third, which is 125, plus 6 times 25, plus 90 times 5. Okay, 1/5, so this is negative 250. Careful with my numbers are off today. I'm not sure why. So I think that this is 150. The 4 of them are 100 plus 2 more. So, and this is 450. Don't trust my numbers today. Okay, so 450, I shouldn't even do this with a calculator, but I don't trust myself today. So 350 divided by 5, I got 70. Did you all get 70? Let me know if you got 70.